The ancient land, shrouded by the sands of time, with secrets buried, received a chilling wind. It was then that the winds had swept through the crumbling ruins of Al-Masara. Rashid stood on the edge of the village. He could feel his heart pounding with excitement as he gazed upon the remnants of a once great civilization. The sun was setting below the horizon, and its rays cast eerie shadows that danced like specters across the stone walls. "Did you hear that?" Rashid whispered to his friend Karim, who was rummaging through a pile of dusty relics. The air felt heavy, charged with an unsettling energy that made the hairs on the back of Rashid's neck stand on end. Karim looked up, his eyes wide. "What? I didn't hear anything." But just then, a distant echo floated through the air, a soft, mournful cry that seemed to beckon them deeper into the ruins. "Let's explore," Rashid urged, his curiosity piqued despite the unease gnawing at him. They ventured further into the darkness, unaware that they were not alone. As they ventured further into the ruins, a flickering torch lit up a large stone chamber with intricate carvings. In the center of the room was a pedestal on which rested a mask, its surface cracked and darkened with age. Bilal, who had joined them, stepped forward, entranced by its haunting beauty. "Look at this," he exclaimed, brushing off layers of dust. "It's magnificent." But as he lifted it from its resting place, a low rumble echoed through the chamber. "Put it down!" Zahid shouted, panic rising in his voice. "You don't know what you're doing." The mask felt cold against Bilal's skin, and as he turned it over, he noticed strange symbols etched into its surface, symbols that seemed to writhe and twist under his gaze. Suddenly, darkness enveloped them, as if the very shadows were alive. A whisper filled the air, chilling their bones. "Release me." The chamber trembled as an ominous presence filled the air. Tariq rushed in from behind them, breathless and wide-eyed. "You have to leave. I overheard the villagers talking about this place, about a curse." "A curse?" Fatima asked incredulously. "What do you mean?" Tariq glanced nervously at the mask in Bilal's hands. "They say it belonged to an ancient sorceress who was betrayed by her own people. Her spirit is trapped within it, and anyone who disturbs her resting place will face her wrath." The group exchanged fearful glances as a cold breeze swept through the chamber, extinguishing their torch and plunging them into darkness. "We need to put it back," Yasmin urged, her voice trembling. But before they could react, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, a wraith-like silhouette with hollow eyes that bore into their souls. Panic surged through Rashid as he dropped his lantern, its light flickering weakly before dying completely. "Run!" he shouted instinctively as they stumbled backward into each other. The wraith advanced slowly, its form shifting like smoke in the night air. "You dare disturb my slumber?" it hissed, each word dripping with malice. "Back to the pedestal," Karim yelled as he grabbed Bilal's arm and yanked him toward safety. But just as they reached for the mask again, a deafening roar erupted from within the shadows, a sound so primal it sent chills racing down their spines. "Do not let her touch you," Tariq warned as they scrambled away from the advancing figure. The air crackled with energy, whispers filled their ears, pleas for help mingled with threats of doom. Desperate to escape, they fled down a narrow corridor lined with ancient murals depicting scenes of betrayal and revenge. Each step echoed ominously in their ears, as if warning them against what lay ahead. "Why did we come here?" Fatima gasped between breaths. "This was a mistake." "We need to find another way out," Zainab said firmly, trying to keep her composure amidst rising panic. Suddenly, Yasmin stopped dead in her tracks. "Look," she pointed to an inscription carved into the wall, a prophecy warning of doom for those who disturb the mask. "The mask of shadows shall bring forth despair," she read aloud. "Only those pure of heart may break its curse." "What does that even mean?" Bilal asked frantically. "I don't know," Yasmin replied nervously. "But we need to figure it out, fast." As they continued down the corridor, tension mounted among them like a thick fog. They could feel suspicion creeping in, the fear that one among them might not be who they seemed. "I can't shake this feeling," Rashid muttered under his breath. "What if one of us is responsible for this?" "Stop it!" Fatima snapped back defensively. "We're in this together. We can't turn on each other now." But doubt lingered in their eyes as they pressed on until they reached a dimly lit chamber filled with ancient artifacts, each one more unsettling than the last. "Look at this," Tariq said hesitantly as he picked up an ornate dagger stained with rust, its blade glimmering ominously in what little light remained. "It belonged to her," Zainab whispered fearfully. "The sorceress." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed behind them, the sound of something heavy falling over, and all heads turned in unison toward where they had come from. It seemed as if air thickened up with tension, and they were once again walking backwards towards the corridor, which suddenly vanished into complete darkness, a gap once lit with glowing light. Fear crept inside them for one more time, as Rashid thought for a moment of getting lost there all his life. "Where's it gone?" Karim shrieked madly. "All gone," cried Zainab in agony, with her face digging into Rashid to clutch him tight for comfort. Then came a low growl from within that darkness, a sound so primal it sent chills racing down their spines again. "We need to move," Tariq urged urgently while clutching tightly onto Fatima's arm. As they hurried deeper into unknown territory, filled with echoes of despair and dread surrounding them like ghosts, grasping for life itself. Their breaths quickened. Every shadow seemed alive with malice intent on consuming them whole. Just when hope seemed lost amidst swirling shadows and despairing cries echoing around them, they stumbled upon another chamber bathed in eerie moonlight filtering through cracks above. The sight before them both bewildered and terrified them all at once. In its center lay an altar adorned with offerings, wilted flowers and trinkets left by those seeking forgiveness from an unseen power. But what caught their eyes most was an ancient scroll lying open beside it, a map leading deeper into this labyrinthine ruin. "What is this?" Bilal breathed out incredulously while reaching for it cautiously, but before he could touch it, a gust of wind swept through, sending papers flying everywhere. "Stop!" Yasmin shouted desperately, trying to gather scattered pieces while shadows danced around them once more threateningly. "We can't stay here. We need answers," Tariq insisted urgently, while glancing nervously around, expecting something sinister lurking nearby. With trembling hands clutching tightly onto fragments of hope, the group followed directions laid out on that fragile parchment leading deeper underground, where darkness reigned supreme. Every step felt heavier than before, as if unseen forces conspired against them. "This is insane," Fatima muttered anxiously, glancing over her shoulder, expecting something dreadful lurking behind every corner. But there was no turning back now, only forward toward whatever awaited ahead. As they went down winding staircases lined with crumbling stone walls, adorned with faded murals depicting tales long forgotten, they began hearing whispers again, voices calling out names lost to time echoing eerily around them. "Do you hear that?" Zainab asked breathlessly while clutching onto Rashid's arm tightly, fear evident in her eyes, reflecting uncertainty about what lay ahead. "Yes," Rashid replied quietly, feeling unease creeping through him like ice running down his spine. Finally reaching an expansive chamber illuminated by ghostly blue flames flickering ominously around its perimeter, they stood frozen at what lay before them. Hundreds upon hundreds of masks lined up against walls, each one more grotesque than last. "This place is cursed," Karim murmured, horrified, while stepping back instinctively away from sight before him. But curiosity compelled him forward nonetheless, despite rising dread pooling within. "Look," Tariq pointed toward center where an altar stood adorned with intricate carvings, depicting scenes from history long forgotten, each telling tale filled with sorrow, betrayal, vengeance. As they approached cautiously, the flames flickered wildly, casting eerie shadows across faces twisted in agony, trapped forever beneath layers upon layers. "What happened here?" Fatima whispered fearfully, feeling overwhelmed by weight pressing down upon her heart. Suddenly, a voice boomed throughout chamber, reverberating off stone walls, sending shivers racing through everyone present. "You dare enter my domain?" A figure emerged from swirling shadows, cloaked entirely in darkness save for piercing eyes glowing bright like embers smoldering within depths unknown. It spoke again, voice echoing hauntingly throughout chamber, sending chills racing down spines. "You seek knowledge, yet do not understand consequences bound within tales told long ago." "What do you mean?" Rashid demanded bravely, stepping forward, despite fear clawing at him relentlessly. "The masks you see are souls trapped, eternally bound by betrayal. Those who sought power without understanding price paid." Zainab gasped softly, realizing implications behind words spoken. "Are we too late?" "You tread dangerously close," Keeper warned ominously, gesturing toward altar where offerings lay scattered about ground beneath feet. "Only those pure may break curse, but purity comes at great cost." "What must we do?" Bilal asked desperately, searching for answers amidst chaos swirling around him. "Face your fears, confront pasts hidden deep within hearts. Only then shall truth reveal itself." Keeper intoned solemnly, fading back into shadows, leaving behind lingering sense, dread hanging heavy air. With heavy hearts burdened by weighty truths revealed, they gathered closely together, forming circle beneath eerie glow emanating from flames surrounding altar, each faced inward, reflecting upon choices made throughout lives leading up until this moment. "I never thought I'd end up here," Yasmin confessed quietly, breaking silence hanging thick between friends. "I always wanted more than what life offered." "I wanted acceptance," Fatima added softly, looking down ashamedly, recalling moments spent seeking validation outside herself, instead embracing inner strength found only when surrounded by true friends. "I wanted revenge," Tariq admitted, finally breaking free shackles, guilt holding him captive for far too long. "I let anger consume me instead, forgiving those who wronged me." Each confession peeled away layers, revealing vulnerabilities hidden beneath surface, until only raw honesty remained exposed beneath flickering flames, illuminating truths long buried deep within hearts yearning release. As confessions hung heavily between them, a palpable tension filled space surrounding altar where offerings lay scattered across ground beneath feet. Each new choice loomed ahead, demanding sacrifices made if freedom sought after. "What do we do now?" Kareem asked nervously, glancing around, seeking guidance amidst uncertainty, weighing heavily upon shoulders bearing burdens far too great alone bear. "We must decide together," Rashid declared firmly, meeting gazes, each friend present knowing stakes higher than ever imagined before entering. "Cursed ruins today. If we wish break curse, we must offer something precious, willingly surrender part ourselves, willingly accept consequences bound therein," Zainab suggested cautiously, searching faces around circle, hoping find agreement amongst friends willing sacrifice. "Everything restore balance lost ages past." "But what does that even mean?" Bilal questioned anxiously, feeling dread creeping back, threatening swallow whole once more. "It means confronting our deepest fears, accepting flaws, imperfections, defining us instead, hiding away behind masks worn daily," Fatima replied softly, meeting gaze each person present, knowing truth would set free if embraced wholeheartedly, rather than shunned away forevermore. With determination igniting spirits anew, They gathered offerings scattered across ground beneath feet, forming circle once more, united purpose seeking redemption promised long ago. Each chose item representing deepest fears, burdens carried throughout lives weighed heavily, hearts yearning release, finally surrender willingly unto keeper, awaiting patiently, watching closely, every move made. "I offer my pride," Tariq declared boldly, stepping forward, placing ornate dagger upon altar, representing anger, held tightly, refusing let go, until now, finally ready, move forward without shackles binding him past mistakes, forevermore. "I offer my insecurities," Yasmin admitted quietly, placing delicate necklace gifted years prior, representing longing, acceptance, validation outside self, instead embracing true worth. Found friendships, forged strong, amidst trials faced together, journey undertaken thus far leading here today. "I offer my regrets," Kareem added reluctantly, stepping forward, placing small trinket once cherished, deeply representing moments, missed opportunities, lost forevermore, unable reclaim time past since then, realizing importance living present moment fully instead, dwelling past failures, holding tightly onto memories, better left behind. Each offering laid carefully atop altar, glowing brightly, illuminating faces surrounding, revealing light shining brightly, illuminating darkest corners, hearts yearning, release finally surrender willingly unto keeper awaiting patiently watching closely, every move made. As offerings laid carefully atop altar began glow brighter, illuminating faces surrounding, revealing light shining brightly, illuminating darkest corners, hearts yearning, release finally surrender willingly unto keeper, awaiting patiently watching closely, every move made. Suddenly, a deafening roar erupted throughout chamber, shaking ground beneath feet, sending tremors coursing through bodies present, causing hearts race wildly, fear gripping tightly, hold each individual present, unable breathe momentarily, overwhelmed chaos surrounding, erupting all around. "What's happening?" Zainab cried out desperately, clutching onto Rashid's arm tightly, feeling panic rising within chest, threatening consume whole if not contained soon enough. "The curse is awakening," Keeper warned ominously, voice echoing hauntingly throughout space, reverberating off stone walls, sending shivers racing down spines, reminding everyone danger lurking nearby, waiting strike unsuspecting prey, unaware danger lurking close behind, waiting patiently, time right moment arrive, seize opportunity presented forth. "We must stand together," Rashid shouted, rallying friends, urging unite strength, found unity facing adversities ahead, knowing survival depended cooperation, trust amongst each other, forged strong bonds throughout journey, undertaken thus far, leading here today. As chaos erupted around them, their resolve strengthened, knowing unity held key survival against forces threatening tear apart, friendships forged strong amidst trials faced together journey, undertaken thus far leading here today. They braced themselves, prepared confront whatever awaited beyond veil darkness, looming overhead, threatening engulf entire chamber whole. "Face me," Keeper boomed voice echoing hauntingly throughout space, reverberating off stone walls, sending shivers racing down spines, reminding everyone danger lurking nearby, waiting strike, unsuspecting prey, unaware danger lurking close behind, waiting patiently, time right moment arrive, seize opportunity presented forth. With courage, ignited spirits anew, they stepped forward, standing united, facing Keeper, demanding answers sought after all along, knowing truth would set free if embraced wholeheartedly, rather than shunned away forevermore. "What must we do?" Rashid demanded bravely, stepping forward despite fear clawing at him relentlessly, knowing stakes higher than ever imagined, before entering cursed ruins today seeking redemption promised long ago. "You must prove yourselves worthy," Keeper intoned solemnly, fading back into shadows, leaving behind lingering sense dread, hanging heavy air, reminding everyone, consequences bound therein, awaited those daring challenge fate itself, risking everything, restore balance, lost ages past. As Keeper faded, back into shadows, leaving behind lingering scents, dread hanging heavy air, reminding everyone consequences bound. Therein awaited those daring challenge fate itself, risking everything, restore balance, lost ages past. They gathered closely together, forming circle beneath eerie glow emanating from flames surrounding altar, where offerings laid scattered across ground beneath feet. Each faced inward, reflecting upon choices made throughout lives, leading up until this moment, knowing stakes higher than ever imagined before entering cursed ruins today, seeking redemption promised long ago. We must believe ourselves capable, overcoming obstacles placed before us, Tariq declared firmly, meeting gazes, each friend present, knowing strength found unity, forged strong bonds throughout journey undertaken thus far, leading here today. With newfound determination igniting spirits anew, they took deep breaths, preparing face whatever awaited beyond veiled darkness looming overhead, threatening engulf entire chamber, whole while holding tightly onto one another, reminding themselves, true power lies within connections. Forged friendships built trust, loyalty shared experiences endured together, journey undertaken thus far, leading here today, seeking redemption, promised long ago. As flames flickered wildly, casting eerie shadows across faces, twisted agony trapped forever beneath layers upon layers, they stepped forward, standing united, facing Keeper, demanding answers sought after all along, knowing truth would set free if embraced wholeheartedly, rather than shunned away forevermore. In final confrontation, their voices rose above chaos, erupting around them, demanding answers sought after all along, knowing truth would set free if embraced wholeheartedly, rather than shunned away forevermore. They stand united as one, facing Keeper, demanding prove themselves worthy and breaking the curse that binds the souls trapped here within shadows forevermore, while holding tightly onto each other, reminding themselves that true power lies in the connections forged, friendships built, trust, loyalty, shared experiences endured, and journey undertaken thus far, leading them to this place today, seeking redemption promised long ago. "Show us the way," Rashid shouted, his voice steady despite the tremors of fear coursing through him. "We are ready to face whatever lies ahead." The Keeper's eyes glinted with a mix of curiosity and challenge. "Very well," it replied, its voice resonating like thunder. "To break the curse, you must confront your deepest fears and embrace the truth of your souls." As the shadows around them grew thick, each friend felt an overwhelming wave of memories wash over them, moments of doubt, betrayal, and pain that had shaped their lives. The air crackled with energy as they were drawn into a vision, each one forced to face their past. Zainab was in a dark alley where whispers of betrayal were going round her. Shadows danced, taunting her with memories of a friend who turned against her. "You were never good enough," the voice sneered. But Zainab stood tall, remembering the strength she had found in her true friends. "I am enough," she declared defiantly. Fatima was thrust into an isolation scene where she was invisible among a crowd. The laughter of others seemed to echo in hollow tones. "You will never belong," the voice echoed. But Fatima closed her eyes and visualized the warmth of support from her friends. "I choose to belong to those who see me," she whispered, and the shadows recoiled. As each friend faced their fears, the atmosphere shifted. The oppressive darkness began to wane. The Keeper watched intently, its expression unreadable. "Now," it commanded, "unite your strengths. Only together can you shatter the chains binding this place." With renewed resolve, they joined hands, forming a circle around the altar. Each heart beat in unison as they poured their collective strength into one purpose, breaking the curse that had plagued Al-Masara for centuries. "Together we stand," Rashid shouted, leading them in unison. "We are more than our fears. We are friends bound by loyalty and love." The flames around them surged higher, illuminating the chamber with brilliant light as energy pulsed through their linked hands. The masks lining the walls began to tremble and crack as if awakening from a long slumber. Suddenly, a blinding flash enveloped them all. The chamber erupted in light as the Keeper's voice boomed one final time. "You have chosen wisely. Your unity has broken the curse." And when the light was gone, they stood silent within the chamber. No longer were masks or shadows about them, but warm, shining peace. The air was lighter. Years of sorrow had been lifted. "Is it over?" Bilal breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. "Yes," Zainab said through her tears of relief. "We did it." But just then, a soft voice echoed through the chamber, a whisper filled with gratitude and sorrow intertwined. "Thank you for freeing my spirit, for understanding that love conquers all." The friends turned to see a shimmering figure materialize before them, a woman adorned in ancient garb, her face serene yet filled with an eternal sadness. "I am Amina," she said softly. "Once bound by betrayal and anger, I now find peace through your courage." With that, Amina raised her hand toward them, and a warm glow enveloped each friend, a blessing that filled their hearts with hope and healing. And as they stood together in that sacred space, hearts intertwined, they knew their journey had only begun. They would leave Al-Masara not just as friends, but as guardians of its stories, vigilant protectors against darkness that sought to return. Will you join them on their journey? Like this story, if you believe in the power of friendship. Comment below with your thoughts on courage and redemption, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales of mystery and adventure.